Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of the travel professional community and travelprofessionalnews.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here. Our host today is Travel Planners International, and joining us is probably one of the most energetic speakers that you are going to have the opportunity to enjoy. She is known as a straightforward and energetic force in the industry for sure. And our speaker is Jenn Lee, Travel Planners International's Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Jen's not shy about her obsession with guiding travel advisors desiring to build their empires, no matter the size. And with a focus on motivating others to liberate their businesses and depart from what they know to be true and real, Jen's advice always is spot on and relevant. And when she's not working, you're going to find her cheering on the Bama football, playing with her grandchild Liza, and enjoying life with friends and a nice glass of Pinot Grigio. Cheers to that. Today's webinar topic is checklist for your 2021 comeback. Here we come. And two very lucky attendees are going to win a 30-minute consultations with Jenn. So that is invaluable, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing that she's offering. So be sure to listen really carefully for your chance to win. If you could just remember that you are muted, but we do welcome your questions. So you can type those in. I guess I should use the word keyboard because typing is so outdated. You should keyboard those in at any time in the question area you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. And when the presentation is over, we'll take as many of those questions as we can. So I'm going to turn the microphone over right now to my good friend, Jenn, so she can get started. Welcome, Jenn.
Hey, Joni, thank you. Thank you. You're so funny with the whole keyboarding. I don't think that's a thing, girl. But anyways, and welcome everyone. I'm so happy to see so many of you guys on here. We all know that 2020 was a year of high frustrations, and I don't know about you, Joni, but I feel like 2020 from a calendar standpoint needs to be deleted. You know, like how the floor 13 and is not a parent, is not around, and buildings and ships. I think 2020 needs to be X'd out of everything. But we are in 2021, and it is the year of the comeback, even though we've kind of kicked it off with a little bit of frustration. We're not where we want to be, but that's okay. And you're right. I'm super passionate about helping travel advisors and agency owners make smart moves. And part of the smart moves is to ensure that you guys maintain that proactivity that so many of you really wrapped your arms around in 2020. In 2020, in the beginning, we were reactive because we were booking like crazy, and then we were reactive because we were canceling like crazy. Then you were proactive with learning new things, departing from what you knew to be true and real, and kind of like, poking at the business, looking at the different travel partners. And so, we all ended 2020, I think, so much stronger than what we anticipated. I know for us here at TPI, I know our advisors feel stronger, even though they're a little tired, but they feel stronger. And so I want to keep that momentum going. And so when I was thinking about this, I was like, I want to make sure everyone's got kind of like that checklist. Let's just make sure we're checking everything off and getting prepared for the 2021 comeback, whatever that looks like to you. So I've got a list of 10 things that I'm going to share today. And guys, as always, feel free to just interrupt me, just post a question. Joni's she'll tell me what it is. I'll answer anything, because I just love you guys. So let's get started. So first off, we are back. Let's just clap for ourselves. Everyone clap. Joni, clap. Everybody clap. We are back, people. We are back. We are definitely back. Well, we might not be as back as we want to be, but we are back. And I want you to walk into 21 knowing that we are back. We have not disappeared. It's not that we were gone, but we are definitely back in action. We are a thriving business. I know for us here at TPI, and I'm sure other hosts are experiencing the same thing, people are joining the industry. We get 30 new advisors every single month here at TPI, some that are experienced, some that have been furloughed from travel industry or travel partners. Others are diving in. And if you're an agency owner or wanting to grow your agency, this is the message that you have to start with. We are back. and start interviewing people, because there are people who realize that as soon as the floodgates open, watch out, we are going to need a lot of help. So adjust your mindset to say we are back. I want you to say it right now. That's right, we are back. And darn it, Joni, I hate it when I don't get to hear them. So you guys type it in. You're right,
I
we
love
are
it.
back.
Good. Okay, I'll let you know if they're typing in here.
If you're not typing in, I'm irritated with you already. Okay, so now one
They're
of the
typing.
other things.
They're
You're
typing.
typing?
They're typing.
Good. Proud of you guys. Good. So you have to start with that mindset. I found this quote, and it is so true. Success is the residue of planning. And that is what we're going to talk about today. And it's not going to be a lot of heavy lifting, guys. Some of these things are just going to be tweaks to what you might be doing already, or oh gosh darn it, I meant to do that. And you're right, Jen, I need to do it. And I promise you, if you do all 10 of these, forget about it. You're definitely going to be rocking and rolling in 21 and well on your way into a completely different type of business moving forward from 22 and on. And I also want to take advantage and leverage and maximize your proactivity muscle that you've already started to flex. I've heard over and over again, and just by nature of the fact that you're on this webinar, and I'm sure you've listened to others, just by nature of this proactivity muscle that you've been flexing for the last half of 2020, you are well prepared to now take that and put it into something really rock solid as a plan. And so I'm going to share these 10 things that you must do. Well, I can say must, but I think you should do. And the very first thing, besides changing the mindset of we are back, is to look at your business as an opportunity for you to liberate. This is something we've been talking about for the last 4 months here at TPI. It's time for you to liberate your business and depart from what you know to be true and real. And Joni was sharing with me a quote that you had just read from an advisor or somebody out of Travel Weekly. Why don't you read that quote, Joni? Because I thought
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
perfect.
cool. It was really cool. So I was reading this yesterday, and it was in Travel Weekly, and it was a supplier actually. I believe she was a VP of a large one of our large companies, and I don't have her name, darn it, and I couldn't find it again. But I wrote this thing, or I copied and pasted this thing, and I stuck it up on front of me all day yesterday. And I thought it was really perfect. I shared it with my son Andy, who of course runs our business, and my husband, and then we were all kind of going, yeah, this is it. So it says, you kind of have to put your brain in a reset mode and a creative state. And it helps you to stay strong and to have a fresh perspective. Because if you think about going after something that you already had, you're going to continually be disappointed. Now, that's not to say that I don't think that that your clients that you already had aren't going to be coming back to you. That's not the point. I think really what she was trying to say is, you've got to have a fresh look at things in order for you to be able to feel excited again about moving forward. I saw it that way. I don't know about anybody else, but I found it to be just really spot on yesterday when I read that.
I agree with you 100%, and that's really what this liberates your business is. If you can just change the way if you're expecting that things are going to go back the way they are, then you are going to be disappointed. And liberating your business is really about you releasing yourself of that notion. And maybe it could be, and I've done this in a previous webinar, fire your clients, fire yourself, get rid of the things that you've held on to that you've known to be true and real, and start investigating. I'm a huge follower of Simon Sinek, and many years ago he released a book called The Infinite Game. And I'm sorry guys, I didn't have a lot of time to put the PowerPoint together, so you're gonna have to just write some things down. But The Infinite Game is something that TPI has instituted here internally about 16 months ago, which really talks about what it looks like to not play a finite game, which is a beginning and an end where you're winning or you're losing. But the infinite game talks about how you're looking at the full life cycle of your business, looking at the full life cycle of how you want to better yourself, beat yourself. Runners know this all the time. Their PRs that they're always trying, that's personal records, that they're always trying to beat. But in one of the things that he says, listen, you have to be able to lead with courage, which means, and also you have to be able to, oh gosh darn it, I can't now remember because I don't have it in front of me, but you have to be able to existentially make big changes. And he says you have to blow up your own business before somebody else does it for you. And so I highly suggest that you find Simon Sinek. Just put in Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game. It's on his website, and I think it's video number 3 or 4. One of the things he says is that this existential ability to kind of blow up your own business, liberate yourself, release yourself of whatever that notion is. It could be, everyone's been talking about, I'm going to start charging fees. I'm going to start charging fees. Maybe the liberation is that you don't charge fees for you. Right? So you can't build your business based on what everybody else is doing and trying to compete with them. You need to build your own business. And if you don't blow up your own business, at least in scenario planning, it will blow up for you. So liberate your business. Give yourself that freedom. So that's number 1. Number 2, set a goal, but focus on the process to get to that goal. Anyone who's ever heard me speak has heard me talk about and salivate over Nick Saban, who is the head coach for Alabama football. And I cannot stress this enough. Also, what's the gentleman? Gosh, my brain is asleep today. I can see his face. I'll remember it in a second. He does The Prophet. Do you know who I'm talking about, Joni? The guy that does Marcus Lemonis. He talks about, that's on MSNBC, guys. You should follow that show. And he talks about how growing a thriving business is really about people, process, and product. But he talks about the process is what you want to focus on. Nick Saban, who has now won his 7th national championship, talks about this all the time. They set a goal, which is we want to win the national championship. And then they never talk about it again. The rest of the time, they focus on the process. What's it going to take to get to that? And that's where you put your energy. Because if you keep looking at this goal and you're not hitting it, and all you're doing is looking at the thing you're not hitting, you're not able to focus on the process that will get you there. And a goal could be a daily goal. And so I want everyone right now to set some sort of goal. The goal could be I talk to 4 clients a day. The goal could be that I write an email a week, an email marketing program a week. The goal could be I want to make 15 sales by the end of the month. But if you sit there and stare at the goal but don't look at the process, that's where your magnifying glass needs to be, is on the process. So think of daily, weekly goals, things that you have 100% control over, which is your actions. I might sound like I'm your mom, right? Like, what do we have control over, kids? We have control over our actions. We don't have control over the end result of that. So focus on the process. And anyone who's ever played a team sport knows this to be true. Everyone's got a role to play, and it's the process. And if everyone buys into the process and does it, you will automatically hit the goal. Joni, you're a little bit older than me, but I'm kind of old myself.
I'm a lot older than you, younger.
Well, you look good. I don't know if anybody knows Joni. Joni looks good, people. But I remember in every sales job I ever had, I never worried about making money. I never counted my commissions. I never sat there and said, if I do this, then I'm going to make this amount of money. Now, for me, what I did instead was I focused on my activities, and I always made money. And so, it's true with so many things. You always, you measure things when you're baking, right? Baking is all about measurement and exactness. But if you're already obsessed over, I don't know if this is going to work out, or I want it to be a beautiful cake, but you don't pay attention to the measurements, it's not going to work out.
True.
And hold yourself accountable to those processes. Okay, guys? So set a goal, but focus on the process. The next is more of a maneuver. So this is a good combination of mindsets and maneuvers that we're going to be talking about, this 10-point checklist. The next one is to adopt and adapt technology. And I'll tell you, this has really been very hard for a lot of travel advisors, those coming into the industry, because there is no consistent technology out there to help anybody. I've said that since day one when I came in. You have to learn so many different types of booking engines and, a CRM and an itinerary builder, and how do you keep up with your commissions and yada, yada, yada. And some have kind of fought the things that they don't have to adapt or adopt. And some are just using the bare minimum. Here's where my fear is for you if you don't check this off your list. is that moving forward, you're not going to have the time to create those good habits by utilizing the technology because it's going to be crazy, right? Crazy busy. And consumers are going to expect that you're using technology to serve them. And you will soon and very quickly become extremely outdated if you do not tap into technology. And the technology, again, could be an itinerary builder. It could be that you know how to text. It could be that you're sending out emails. It could be that you're using a CRM. There's so many different things that technologies are there for you. And if you're scared of it, you have to ask yourself why. You know, if there's a technology that you know you need to adopt or adapt to and you haven't, ask yourself why. Is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of it being overwhelming? And so often when we find things that are overwhelming, it's because we haven't dove right in. I used to tell my son this all the time. He said, "Oh, this is so hard, Mom." I'm like, "Well, brain surgery is hard too until you know what you're doing." Like, you can't use that as an excuse. Once you've started to jump into it, you'll be able to adapt. Hire someone to help you. Things that I think you definitely are going to have, guys, to be competitive are itinerary builders. A CRM, you're going to definitely have to have a CRM, QuickBooks, some sort of financial tracking, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about getting your numbers straight, as well as, and I'm not even talking about social media. I'm not talking about that at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say that you could possibly get rid of social media. All right, how many people are jumping up and down right now? How many people? I mean, I want to know. If I told you could build a thriving business without social media, because I know a lot of us are very tired of it, would you be excited?
I
And
would
would you use
be.
that? I would be too. And would you use that time and use that energy into technology that was going to create a better client experience, which is what we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes.
I
Joni,
would. I would.
yeah, if does anybody have any questions,
Let me
challenges,
tell you, well, a
any?
lot of people are saying they would do that as well, and everybody would be excited about that. Some people are saying social media is such a time drain. Oh my God, if that's not the truth. So I
Mhm.
think you really hit a nerve there. So a lot of people are jumping up and down.
Yes.
So it is difficult because we're so addicted to it, and pulling ourselves away is so important for our time, time value, valuable use of our time. But it's hard to do because it's one of the ways that a lot of things through this last year, hell year, has been
Mhm.
communicated. So people look to it for that type of communication. So I don't,
Right.
it's a tough thing to pull away from. I personally, in the last, oh gosh, couple weeks, am
Mhm.
trying actively to pull myself away from it, in a lot of different aspects of my life, and use that time to do something else. I just feel the need. I just.
I agree. I agree with you, myself as well. And I think these, and we're kind of going off a little bit on a tangent, but I like it. Because guys, this is really, let's sit in that. Let's liberate our business and depart from what we know to be true and real. Do
Yeah.
you have to have social media to build a robust business? No, you don't. But you also have to replace it with other things. It's allowed you to be able to meet new people and do things. But at the same time, and again, we're not even halfway through our numbers here. At the same time, if you adopt some of these other things that's on this 2021 comeback checklist, you might surprise yourself of how much better your business is. And again, there's others that build their business on social, and I don't want you to go away from that. Whatever works for you, boo. If you're happy with what you got, stick with it. If it's not bringing you joy and making you money, which you hear me talk about all the time, Joni, you
Mhm.
have to have both joy and money when it comes to business. It has to make you money and it has to bring you joy. If it doesn't do both, guys, it is a waste of time or it's a hobby. So, all right. Enough about that. I'm sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat. I'm getting excited. Okay. Next thing is I want you to set up your financials now. And what do I mean by that? You've got to start working with a bookkeeper or an accountant. I've talked to way too many travel advisors that actually do not do business as a business. I don't get it, but there are plenty of you guys out there. You should have a business bank account. I've talked about the profitability plan, and Joni, I know you probably don't have access to the webinars right from the get-go. But if you could find it and put it in the chat, do that link to my post-COVID profitability plan.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
Put it in there. But I want you to be ready for understanding what you're going to be able to deduct in 2021 when you get ready for your taxes. I want you to set your budgets. You need to also set up some sort of tracking mechanism now. If you haven't been tracking every dime that you spend on your business, take the time to set that up right now. Set up how you're going to pay yourself. It's so important that you pay yourself. And maybe the way you're paying yourself right now is just a percentage of the commissions that are coming in. Maybe you're just transferring all that money over. Maybe you're not getting any commissions. So now's a good time to set up what you want to pay yourself when you do. Work with an accountant. Start setting up forecasting. What does it look like? Many of y'all are booking things into 2022, 2023. If I were a travel advisor, I'm an Excel spreadsheet person. I love spreadsheets. I would be setting up, all right, I just booked this. My expected commission should be in, June. I'm going to put that dollar amount in there, and I'm going to set my goal. I want to make, $10,000 a month in commissions or $5,000 a month in commissions for the next 2 years or what have you, and start figuring that out. Do your forecasting, but set up your financials. Put that financial cap on. It's so important right now. Okay, so work with an accountant if you need to. Begin to network again. How many people have been able to leave their homes? I know this is different depending on where you are in the country. I'm here in Orlando, Florida, and we leave our homes all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm right here in our offices. We've been in our office since October 5th, and all has gone well. And networking like Rotary clubs and chamber meetings and stuff, stuff is starting to happen. Many are doing hybrids. If you feel confident and comfortable enough, go in person if you can, if it's available. If you're not seeing those types of networking groups popping up again in person, and I'm only going to talk about in person right now, guys, then start networking B2B, business to business, because there's other business owners like you that are dying to get with somebody to get creative to bring people into the doors. And again, you guys are all different depending on where you are, but we've got to begin to network again. The BNIs that are out there, any of the networking groups, start scheduling meetups. Again, if you're able to do so, depending on where you live. But these B2B relationships, that's business to business relationships, people, are ready to do that again so that they can cross promote for one another. And I'd love to hear if anyone at this point could type in something that they've just recently done, maybe another business that you've partnered with. One of the things that are still open or have been open for quite some time are the hairdressers and the nail salons and stuff. How can you leverage the fact that they've got people coming in there? What could you do together to help promote travel? To help promote the travel business, to help talk about, maybe you do a joint e-newsletter, you're getting your hair done or whatever. Maybe it's a pamphlet that you drop off that's got the top 10 things you need to know right now in the travel business, or it's a card that you have printed out and you give it to, listen, they're getting their feet done, they're getting their hair done and their nails done, they got nothing else to do, and they want to read something. So why don't you work with a hair, I just made this up. I'm so darn smart, I can't even stand myself. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leverage the opportunity. All right.
I'm looking to see if anybody's, let's see here. I got one here. Hold on. Cross-marketing with an adventure store. Awesome. Carlos, great idea. Cross-marketing with an adventure store has been working really well. Oh, I totally get that. I mean, there are so many people out there doing hiking and trips that were different, than what they've done in the past. I mean, good for you, Carlos. Great idea. Great idea.
I love that, Carlos. Yeah, be thinking about what is it that the client is looking for right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. But what
I got another one. Hold on. Another one.
Yay.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Looking at this, go Dawn. She's looking at purchasing a small tanning salon, which has a hair and a nail salon next door. Sweet.
Yes, I love it, Dawn. And then you know what you could do, Dawn, is you could pipe in music. You'd give them like headphones, right? As they're laying, getting their tan. And in it, there'll be subliminal messages in the background. It'll be like the waves, and it'll be, book your cruise. You could be on a cruise. I'm just making that portion up, but I
We're
thought
getting a
that'd be
lot
kind
of
of
these, so
cool.
we may have to come back to these later so you can finish your presentation. We may.
No, I want to hear them now. No,
You
no, no,
want
it's
it?
okay.
Okay, all right, here we go. I do escorted small group trips as fundraisers for arts and nonprofits, and I'm working on a relationship with another organization. Two friends on the board presented a short pitch on my behalf at their virtual board meeting, and we are now taking next steps. Good for you, Nicole. That's awesome. There we go. Let me see. I work with a restaurant owner who is also a bartender, and he sells my groups, and I promote his restaurant. Patricia, good for you. And let's see. Let me put what else we got. These people are going nuts in here. Okay. Looking to hopefully partner with a hair salon for a group trip in 2022. She's already showing interest. Good for you. That's great, Shawana. That's awesome. All right. So that's it for now.
All right, that's great, guys, and continue to share with one another. And actually, at the end of this, I want to invite you to be part of a Facebook group. It's not a TPI group. I started it, but there are advisors from all over the country and including Canada, and we love to hear best practice stories and share ideas. So please, I want you to be part of that Facebook group. It's called the Fiercely Forward Formula Facebook group. All right, so start networking again. And I will also tell you something else. I was talking to a group that's in the travel industry, but they're in the incentive travel portion of the industry. And as you can imagine, that business is as dead as it comes, right? Because businesses aren't spending money on incentive travel, and people are not allowing businesses aren't traveling, yada, yada, yada. And by the end of the conversation, during the conversation, they were like, we just need some sort of motivation. And of course I was like, well, hello, you've got me. Of course I'll motivate. But it was like, they're just, by the end, you could tell they're like, thank you. You've kind of like lifted my spirits. And so my point is that when you start to network again and you come in with a message of hope, and you come in with a message of proactivity, and you say, we are back, we're doing it, you will energize that other business owner. And that's a trickle down, that's a pay it forward opportunity, because maybe that business owner needed to hear from you as well. And so begin to network again, if not just for yourself, for them as well. So I just love that. Thank you guys for sharing. All right, I want you to institute the power of the Pounce. And I need to share a little story with you for you to be able to understand this. But many years ago, I still am a motivational speaker, but many years ago, people paid me a lot of money to come and speak. And one of my clients actually ran the Florida division for Special Olympics. Okay, and so she was the executive director for it, and she asked me to come out and speak to all the volunteers. And something that many people don't realize is that with the Special Olympics, almost every single employee, quote unquote employee, is actually a volunteer. They actually only have a very small handful of true employees. The rest are all volunteers. So she had asked me to come out to kind of motivate them to say thank you. And so here I'm in this room with about 250 adults. And at the back of the room are all the athletes, right? A good portion of them are the kids of the adults that are sitting there, or they've been part of that athlete. They've been an athlete for quite some time. And in my motivational speak, I've done this presentation, this portion of this presentation, quite a bit. And what I do is I pull out a $5 bill and I hold it up in the air and I say, the first person, I pull out a $5 bill and I say, the first person to bring me a dollar bill, I'm going to give this $5 bill to. The first person who brings me a dollar bill, I'm going to give you this $5 bill to. And over again, over the years, anytime that I've done it, people are kind of like staring at me. Some people start to shift a little bit, some slowly. I'm like, all right, it's a true $5. I'm not going to make you cluck like a duck or anything like that. Like, it's really $5. You just need to give me a single dollar. You got to come up to the front with a dollar. And every single time I've ever done this, I've always gotten the exact same reaction, which is people just don't move. And then finally someone goes, nobody else is going to do it. I guess I'll stand up and give her the dollar. And I use that as an example of, what's taking you so long? What do you mean you don't want the $5? So I do this at the Special Olympics, and I pull out the $5 bill and I hold it up and I said, for the first person that brings me a dollar bill, you will get this $5 bill. And before I could say it the second time, every single one of those kids that were lined up at the back of the room for the Special Olympics kids came running towards the stage, like just running, falling all over each other. I want it, I want it, I want it. And I was like, great, who's got the dollar bill? And then they were like, oh, hang on. And they're turning around, they're yelling at their parents, who's got the tiny dollar? Hold on, I'm gonna get it. And they were jumping all, they couldn't get to that $5 bill fast enough. They couldn't find that dollar bill fast enough. And I just brought tears to my eyes. And I said to the adults, I said, why did they pounce and you didn't? And every single time I've done this, nobody ever moves. So why did these kids, these Special Olympic kids, pounce? And Joni, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Why do you think other adults don't move, but yet these kids could not get to it fast enough?
The first thing that comes to my mind, and I'm probably wrong, and the first thing to my mind that comes to my mind is fear of failure or fear of, I don't know why that comes to mind.
Yep.
Is
Fear
that
of
right?
failure, fear of embarrassing yourself,
Yeah.
fear of taking it away from somebody else. Somebody else deserves it more than I deserve it. I want you all to be thinking about this, okay? It's a very powerful message. And in reality, what it is they just pounced. They saw an opportunity, they wanted the $5, and they went for it. They didn't even have all the details, for heaven's sakes. They just pounced. Once they realized, oh, shoot, I need to have the dollar bill, then they're like, okay, I can get that too. Just hang on. Just a second. I'm going to get you that dollar bill. And I find it doesn't matter what industry, especially when it comes to the entrepreneurs, people do not pounce because of that fear of failure, fear of embarrassing yourself, fear that your ability, I don't deserve it, someone else does, they'll come to me. If they really wanted it, they would do it. And I'm going to tell you that one of the things for the comeback, the big 2021 comeback, is that you have to tap into the power of the pounce. Guys, consumers are counting and relying on you. I have said this for years. They are waiting for you to do your job. Consumers are counting and relying on you to pounce when you hear them say something that sounds somewhat familiar to an idea that could be connected 6 times over to maybe planning a vacation. They're wanting you, they're relying on all of us, and they're relying on you individually to pounce at that opportunity. So don't be shy. Again, they're counting and relying on you. Does anybody have anything to say about that?
Someone is making a comment about the pouncing kids, saying that kids, they weren't shy, which is true.
Right.
But there is a comment that came a little earlier, and I'm going to share this because I think this is really cool. So this is, she says, I talked to everyone about travel. I obtained some email addresses from my mortgage banker, my PPP loan person, go girl, someone I purchased an item from on Facebook Marketplace who wants to take a group to Ireland. Everyone is excited and ready to travel. That's a very positive statement, Chervelle, thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome.
You go, Cheryl. And Cheryl, what you're doing is you're showing that it can happen. So not only are consumers counting and relying on you, your fellow advisors are counting and relying on you to share your success. Don't be shy about it. Pounce on the opportunity to share what you've done. And that's, I think, more, a really big lesson right now going into 21, because we've got a lot of fatigue, guys. It's been exhausting. I mean, it's exhausting. So power of the pounce. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing that. All right, the next thing I want you to do, guys, is to massage your messaging. And this is building into a bigger thing. But you hear me talk about this all the time. People buy on emotion and justify logically. Part of your checklist for 2021 is to go back and take a look at all of your messaging, your branding, in simple things like, I know we had to do it here at TPI. We always send out a happy anniversary or a reminder that your fees are due, your annual fees. And in it, we still had like a line that said something like, we know you're busy booking, rocking your business. And well, that was not the appropriate messaging. And somebody called it out on us. And I was like, you're right. We have to go back and make sure our messaging is speaking to what our customer is needing right now. And so ask yourself, what is it that your customer is looking for right now? Are they looking for statistics? Are they looking for a comfortability in booking, knowing that they can get out if they need to? Are they looking for someone who is going to help them dream? Who and what are your customers really needing to hear from you? So what do they want? What are the questions that they might be asking themselves that you can answer in your messaging without even asking the question? So if you know people are asking to themselves, they're saying to themselves, oh, you know, how will I know if my cruise is going to cruise? Put that in your messaging. You can say something as simple as, even though no one can guarantee when the cruises are going to cruise, here's what I've committed to my clients, or here's how I work with my clients to ensure they stay up to date, right? So what are the questions that they're asking, and how can you massage your message to answer those questions? And then, of course, I always have to give a plug to my guy, Don Miller. I don't make any money off of this guy. I should, though, because I talk about him at my wit's end. Go to Don Miller, Building a Story brand, and make sure your message is clear. It's clear and concise, and it has a strong call to action. Massage your messaging to today's world. 2021 is very different than 2020. Update your client experience. Now, many of the things that we've talked about is really kind of leading up to this. This is your chance to really surprise and delight your current clients and your future clients. Technology will help you here. You know, a CRM, a customer relationship management tool that helps you with automation emails, or beautiful itinerary builders will update that client. It really will up-level your client experience. What else can you do for your clients? Sometimes it's a simple thank you at the end of the phone call, or is there anything else that I can help you with? And words like I appreciate you, or we're in this together. Update that client experience with your words. You know, a lot of advisors and companies are actually surveying their clients and asking them, how do you want us to communicate with you? Are you more of a text person, a Facebook message person, a phone call person? Share with me how you want me to communicate with you. And then set your systems up, that's going back to the technology, to ensure that you are communicating the way they wish to be communicated. Look at things that are your processes. Are they visually appealing? And do they have a simplicity to them that makes it easy for people to feel like they're in some sort of process with you, that you are guiding them step by step? How easy is it for them to do business with you? You know, do you make it difficult to do business with? You know, another thing that a lot of clients and people are really getting used to is, you know, they want a video, they want to see you. So instead of a phone call to discuss the experience or what it looks like, or qualifying your clients via phone call, seeing that we can't meet face to face many times, everyone's used to Zoom now. You know, get yourself a Zoom account and do it via Zoom. So that face to face. And then there's one last idea, and then I would love to hear anybody who has updated their client experience with some surprise and delight ideas. There's a gentleman, and I won't use his name because I don't want him to. I don't want y'all to know that he does this, because to me that it's the end result that's really super special. There's an executive with a very large travel partner that shared with me that he keeps in his phone a list of people's pet peeves. And he pays close attention to them, and he adds to it pet peeves and things that they love. And it might be things like, so for me, everybody knows that I cannot stand it if somebody refers to a travel advisor as an IC. It's like fingernails on chalkboard. And at TPI, we refer to our advisors as rock stars. So he said, oh yeah, I've got that in there. Don't use the word IC. Always refer to the advisors as rock stars. She loves Pinot Grigio from Italy, and he's got these notes on me. And so every time I'm with him, I feel like he really knows me, and he does. So he's not cheating, but he pays close attention to those little things, and he keeps them in mind. And you know, he tells me about how he does this with his boss and his boss's boss and his boss's boss, all the way up to the super high executive level. He pays close attention and he takes note. To me, that's a surprise and delight because I don't know he's doing it, but I always feel like my experience with him is so personable. And again, I can't share a secret, but I think that's something you might be
It's
able to
awesome.
do.
I love that.
Has anyone typed any surprise and delight ways they've surprised and delighted
No,
their
but I saw
clients?
this. Somebody shared a quote, which is really good, and they said they saw this quote from Orson Welles: "Don't give them what you think they want. Give them what they never thought was possible." Kathy McConnell shared that. That's a really cool quote. I like that a lot.
Love that, Kathy.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that
a
is
good one.
so true. And that's exactly what this is. This is not about asking. It's kind of like back when I always talk about when you're qualifying your clients. I cannot stand it when I hear an advisor say, "Are you celebrating a special occasion?" Bleh, that is gross. Don't ask that. Instead, ask the question, what's motivating you to want to go to Alaska this year? Ask the question that's going to bring out that emotional story, the truth behind it, because then the rest of your conversation with them, you can gear that around with what's motivating them. So it's a tiny little change, but it gets you a huge difference. All right. Get a little help from your clients. This is on the checklist because referrals and testimonials are going to be very important to you. And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with you picking up the phone and calling your clients and say, listen, it would mean the world to me if you could answer these 3 questions and come up with 3 questions, or if you could describe the service that I've provided with 3 adjectives, what would they be? Get a little help from your clients in massaging that message, in updating that client experience, in networking. Hey, I'm looking to connect with another business and I'm thinking this, but what do you think? What I have found over the years, and I've been in sales since I was born, I am the oldest child, and so I was middle management because I had a younger brother and sister. What I have always found is that if you invite people in to be part of your success, they will move mountains to be part of your success. Tell them that you would appreciate it, that it means the world, that you want to pick their brain. You're not asking them for business. It's not like the old MLM ways where it's like, fill out the 10 people you think would enjoy this colander. You don't do that. But instead, invite them to be part of your success. Invite them to be part of the comeback story. Write a LinkedIn recommendation for somebody. Just do it because you like them, for your clients. I promise you, they'll write one for you or they'll remember that you've done that for them. Only do it if you feel it's authentic to you. But writing a LinkedIn recommendation is a big deal. And writing a review for somebody, if it's a business, a restaurant, or whatever, make sure you go on Yelp and you write a review for them. Do something good. And then we're almost done, guys. This is on your checklist. You need to plan your own vacation. And this is going to be a challenge that I want you to do. This is kind of like the emotional recharge that I want you to put into your calendar today. Today, I want you to do this. I'm not talking about planning a fam. I'm talking about planning your own disconnect vacation. Pull out the calendar, pick a week, long weekend, whatever it is. You deserve it. You've earned it, and you're going to need it because during the comeback year, you're going to be super busy. And if you haven't carved out that time now, you will find yourself not carving it out. And again, not a fam, not a work vacation, an actual vacation with your girlfriends, with your neighbors, with your family, with yourself. It doesn't matter. This is your challenge. This is, an emotional recharge that you should be adding to your calendar today. I'm counting on you to commit to yourself. And something that John Chernesky talks about all the time with princesses, that anticipation. Do your own countdown. Maybe you'll realize how cool it is to know you've got that excitement, and that's your role in helping your clients, is to make them put down their vacation. And then negate the negative Nelly. And this goes back to the social media. One of the things so many people are excited to bring you down. It is an excitement for them to make sure that somebody else is miserable. They want us to fail. They don't want us to be successful. Us being you as an individual, us as an industry, you in your business. You might have a negative person in your family that's telling you go find a full-time job. Maybe it's fellow advisors. It might be an associate advisor that you have on your team. It could be just Facebook groups that you belong to, the news. Joni and I were talking about it. I don't even turn on the news anymore. I can't do it. You know what I do is I listen to travel podcasts because they're not negative, and I read travel professional news, of course, and I only look at the travel industry stuff, and then I flip over to entrepreneurial type news. I flip over to Marcus Lemonis, to the Shark Tank, anything that's talking about proactivity. You have got to get rid of the negative Nellies in your life. Negate them by you being the positive one. And again, this is part of that Fiercely Forward Formula Facebook page that I want to invite you guys to. Actually, I'll put that right here. It's a private group. It's just people who want to be around other positive travel advisors. It's not about TPI at all. There's no selling of anything on there. I would love for some of you smart guys and gals to be on there with us. But those are the 10 2021 checklist items. You ready to go back through them, Joni?
Yeah, I'm ready if you're ready.
Yes. Oh my goodness, one of my little things is off. Okay, liberate your business, depart from what you know to be true and real. Go back and realize if you don't blow up your business, somebody else will. Set a goal, but focus on the process. Adopt and adapt to technology. And if you got to get rid of social media to do it, do it. Set up your financials. I want you to work with a bookkeeper, start forecasting, start setting budgets, begin to network again, business to business networking. Find and seek out other businesses that would be a good match, a good collaboration with you. Make sure you take advantage of the power of the Pounce. There's a $5 bill just being held right there, and all you got to do is pounce on that opportunity. Massage your messaging so that it's relevant to today, and it's answering the questions that your clients are asking already to themselves. Be the one that's answering the question before they even ask it. Update your client experience with the surprise and delight opportunities. Plan your own vacation. Get a little help from your clients and negate, whoops, darn it, like, oh, darn it, gosh, darn it, sorry.
I saw your negate was just.
My negate's way down here, guys. Sorry about that.
No, it's there. I was just going to tell you, I really love this PowerPoint. I love the way you use the italic and in the big type. It looks really cool. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my creative team. That's all of our branding, but they taught me well. So now I'm a PowerPoint master. So anyway, so that's your 2021 checklist. I'm open to questions, challenges, repeating. I know we've got two questions at the end.
Yeah, we do have that. Got a couple people that have just shared with, just to share with you, not really needing comment or questions, but, telling you really said it well, that they tend not to comment on Facebook travel agent groups because there's so much negativity, which just takes them back to suggesting then they go on yours, because I'm on there and I know it's very positive.
Yes.
Somebody says you should see my list of future vacations. Good for you.
Good for you.
Somebody says, Lord knows we have the time to take those vacations. And we do have a little more time, but we got to use it well, right? And regrouping and I don't think I've ever done, honestly, during as much yoga and meditation and exercising as I have this year. Oh my God, because it gets me. It's that piece that I need to help me get through that, to create some positive, and just kind of refreshes me. So whatever you guys need to do to refresh, and reboot, do it, because, it just changes the entire perspective of your day by doing something for yourself.
Well, you have to be kind to yourself, guys. There's a lot of things that are not kind to us that are out of your control, and you do need to be kind to yourself. And I am not a kumbaya, yoga loving, sage burning kind of gal. I'm very much a let's get it done. Once you know what you want and you're committed to making it happen, the rest is really just logistics, guys. And it's really just nailing those logistics and going for it. And, those that win, and winning not against somebody else, but winning with yourself, is at the end of the day, you lay your head on the pillow and you're like, I nailed it today. I nailed it. Even if it was a really bad day, I nailed the way I handled it. And that's what we really have control over. There's just so many good things. And I'm not saying this because I'm the one that put together the presentation. I just sounded kind of weird. But these things are really true. It doesn't matter the industry that you're in. These are lessons that I've talked about for years and years for a variety. For those that don't know, I used to be a business consultant, and I worked with people who ended up on Shark Tank and QVC. And you talk about people who, invest hundreds of thousands of dollars and go out on a limb to create a product and just pray that it works. And boy, they're brave, and they're making all these moves, and they put their life savings on the line, and their heart and their soul. It doesn't matter what business you're in. These items are still true. These are all things to run a good business, to run a business that makes you money and brings you joy.
So
And again,
true. So true.
People are counting and relying on you.
Okay, so Jen, do you mind putting that Facebook group up again so they can see it?
Yeah.
I've had a few people ask that.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. There it is. It's the Fiercely Forward Formula Travel Advisor Facebook. And the reason there's a formula in there is because we created a 31-page resource guide back in May when this all first started. And so we were like, this was a Facebook page for people who had downloaded the formula, and it's still available. It's got webinars in there. It's just a bunch of really good stuff in there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I did put the everybody in the chat area. I did put up the information about the COVID-19 profitability plan that.
Oh, perfect.
So I couldn't actually go to the link itself because I couldn't leave this page in order to copy paste that. But I did give everybody instructions on how to get there. So you all should be able to see that in that chat box. Let me just see if there's anything else for you. Everybody's just loving you. Of course, they always love you, Jen, but everybody's like, oh my God, you helped me so much today. You're so positive, and that you really uplifted a lot of people. And then I'm going to end with the last comment, which made me smile, which Linda says, I love your pounce. So, I love your pounce too, Jen. I could be your new
power
nickname.
Of the pounce, baby. Just pounce. Just pounce. It's okay. You can do it.
I love it. All right. Well, I think we should probably go ahead and do the questions at this point. Sound good? Do you want me to ask them, or do you want to ask them, or?
You ask them. I like it when you ask them.
Okay. All right. So here goes the first one. Now, folks, before I give the question, remember, over in that same place that you've been posting your wonderful questions, that's where you're going to put the answers, okay? And I'm going to pick the fifth person that answers correctly. And I have to do that because they all come in so fast. I have to start somewhere, so I kind of go down to number 5. So it doesn't. So get them all in there. Okay. Okay. Question number 1. You need to fill in the blanks on this one, okay? So remember back everything that Jen has said. Consumers are blank and blank on you to do your job. Go.
Go. Do, 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 do.
Okay, Jen, not everybody is getting the exact answers
Okay.
that you have provided me, but they're really super close to it. So
I'll let you be the judge of it. Consumers are blank and blank on
okay.
you to do your job.
I'm just going to find the one that I think of the first ones here that really said it exactly, kind of similar to what you're saying. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. And it's kind of like the same word. She says it's Nicole, and she got, I think she got this right in my mind. Waiting and depending. So consumers are waiting and depending on you to do your job. That to me was similar to counting and relying.
That's right. So consumers are counting and relying on y'all. They're counting on you because without you, they can't have a vacation, and they're relying on you to pounce and to do all the other things. They're counting and relying on you to do your job.
Okay. Congratulations, Nicole.
I'll do the second question. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'll do the second question. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are y'all ready?
Go.
Okay. What emotional recharge activity should you add to your calendar today? What did I tell you to do today?
Well, everyone got this one right. Okay. All right. Angela, you have won. Angela, and I don't want to say your last name incorrectly, but it's Walrensnick, I think. She came that right. She says, plan your own vacation. So she got that right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
And guys, Angela and Nicole, do you see my email up here? Go ahead and just email me right now and we'll set something up, a 30-minute over the next couple of weeks. We're getting ready to launch our CRM here at TPI, so my days are filled with writing, training, and all that good stuff. But send me an email right now, and we'll figure out a time to chat.
Okay, perfect. And just so you know, Jen, I will go ahead and send you their last name, their full name in their email as well. So if you guys cross somehow and you don't have it, you'll be able to reach out to the two ladies that have won.
Sounds good.
So I just, needless to say, you magic to the day is what you do. Magic
Thank
to the day. Thank you, my friend. And thank you to everyone here that has been here today and has been, attentively listening as we went through this. So I really, really appreciate everybody's time today, and especially yours, Jen, and your knowledge and your energy. So we will
Love
see
you
you all
guys.
next time.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.